Hello everybody and welcome back to the Hezron Springer Show. To be honest guys, for the last 2 days or so, I've had a really bad flu and I was down bad. The last time I had a flu this bad was about 8-9 years ago, because my body, there was just aches and pains. I just felt so weak. It felt like a real bad demonic virus was going after my body and attacking it with its full strength. But you know how we do it around here, guys. My body fought back, and within the first day or so, most of the symptoms were gone. But for that first day, boy, was it hard. I was just in my bed, doing nothing, resting it off. And this morning I woke up, that was the second day, and I had like a really runny nose. And I thought to myself, I can't do a show today. But by the end of the day, which is where we are now, most of the symptoms are gone, and I have a slightly runny nose. My voice isn't all the way there, but you know what, guys? I said I'm going to persevere on. And this brings me to the first point of today, guys. A lot of you guys, what it is, you want to win conveniently. You only want to win when all the stars are aligned for you in the universe. You want to win when it's so simple, everything's in place, and nothing's difficult, and you just have to go through the motions. But a real winner, you keep moving, even when the times get hard. You just can't be out here thinking, I'm going to win, and everything's going to be easy, there's going to be no hard days, and I'm only going to win by putting in the effort when it's easy to put in the effort. You know, at a certain point in my life, I was overweight. I bought myself a motorcycle, became fat on it, and I wanted to lose the weight. So I started cycling and skateboarding. And I'll tell you something, I only had quick gains when I realized to myself, you know what, I'm just not going to cycle when it's sunny and warm and not windy outside. I'm going to keep the game going even when the time gets tough. Because at first I was like, oh my God, it's raining outside, I'm not going to cycle today. Next thing you know, 3 out of the 7 days of the week were gone. Was I moving forward on my goals? No. Oh my God, Hezron, it's too windy outside. I can't go out cycling. You got to keep cycling regardless. Because at the end of the day, time moves on. And if you stay stagnant, well, that's on you, bro. That is on you. And being out for the last 2 days of doing this really reminded me of how much I love doing this podcast thing. This is a new endeavor for me. But somehow I found myself to be really good at it. And I'm so happy to be back. They always say distance makes the heart grow fonder. And this is definitely true in this case, because like, oh my God, I want a podcast. I want to talk. I want to give you guys back some more information. I want to give you guys some more knowledge. Because right now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't feel completely up to it in this exact moment. My nose is a little bit blocked. My voice isn't all the way there. I've got a tiny bit of a headache. My body isn't completely in sync. But I tell you what separates the winners from the losers. We keep moving even when the situations aren't that ideal. Even when the rain is pouring down on us and there's a dark cloud going all through our body, we still keep moving because time on this earth waits for nobody. No one. So entonces, gracias por receberme. Thank you for having me back today. I am so happy to be back. And you know what? Maybe it's given me a different fire now because I'm now starting to appreciate what we're doing here and how much I'm loving it. Because there's a thing where it's like, I'm just doing it. But now it's like, I actually want to do this. And I'm trying to do this every single day if possible. A new episode. Obviously, that's not always possible because I run a business. But in an ideal world, I love to do this once a day. I love just talking here. You know, when I first started doing this, I found it so hard to just do a 10-minute show, thinking of idea, rah. Now it's like, I just think of one main talking point and then next week, you know, it's an hour-long episode. And even then, as I'm filming it, I feel like I haven't talked enough. So naturally, I've progressed to be really, really good at this thing. And I'm just so happy to keep on doing it for you guys. So here we are. Let's go with today's topic. A lot of you are scared of success. And I completely understand why. Most of us watching this, we would have grown up with nothing. We would have grown up in a family where success wasn't attained. So we don't know what it's like to even have success or to be around success, or what it's like to wield the power of success in our hands. We just don't understand it at all. It's foreign to us, just like a foreign language. What's normal to most of us is struggle, debt, pain, and suffering. Most of us watching this will be like, yeah, I've seen my mum struggle. I've seen my mum not be able to feed the whole entire family, and seeing her feed all of my brothers and sisters but not feed herself. That's normal for us. What's normal for us is seeing those, you owe X amount of money to X bill. What's normal to us is not being able to afford the holidays that we want, not be able to afford the things that we want, the PlayStation, the games, the clothes, the lifestyle. For most of us, it's been a struggle. So success, that's like some sort of foreign thing. Success is a complete and total stranger to us. Can we just admit that? That's the first step. We need to accept that we don't really understand what the hell success is. Yeah, we see it on TV. We might have read books on it. We've watched documentaries on it. As we go past those rich neighborhoods, yeah, we would have passed them. Maybe in our jobs as cleaners, as teachers, as accountants, we've crossed paths with successful people. But let's be honest, even though we've seen it in all those mediums, we still don't understand it. It's a foreigner to us. The same way I can go on YouTube right now, okay? I can Google Mexican documentary about lifestyle in Mexico, or the lifestyle in Brazil, or the lifestyle in Canada. But guess what? I've never been there. I don't understand it. So for as much as I can watch all about it, read all the shows, read all the books, read all the magazines, I still really don't understand it. That's most of us when it comes to success, because we've never had uncles that are successful, our parents were successful, our family wasn't successful. In fact, a lot of us, we were anti-successful, because it gets to the point in our lives, right, where life beats us down so bad we want to auto-reject ourselves from success, because success is a thing that we all want. But because life has just beaten us down so bad that we just try and blank it out of our minds, because it's like, raw, it's so close to me physically, but in reality, it's so far away. So we just try and X that out, success. So for as much as we have been around it in different mediums and seen it on TV, we do not understand what the hell success is. And that is why sometimes, well, a lot of the time, we become scared of success. In a lot of communities, we see success as the enemy. Isn't that crazy? In a lot of communities, to become the better and the most superb version of yourself, that is seen as the enemy. Why? Because most people around us have never achieved it. It's not because success in of itself is bad. It's just that success, if one was to attain it in those types of communities, you're now an outcast, because you're now separating yourself from the group. And that in some communities, in most communities who aren't living a successful lifestyle, that is a problem. Eso es un problema. Because jealousy starts to arise from that, guys. Jealousy starts to arise when a certain member from an underachieving group actually starts to win and veer off from what is the norm. We're out to get this cracking, boys. I'm leading off to a good point here, so listen in close, boys. When we're in an underperforming community, when one of us veers off which is, by the way, inevitable, that makes the entire group insecure. And that is one of the main reasons why you're scared of success. Because you know, once you achieve it, the way your entire community looks at you will never be the same ever again. I'm getting cracking, boys. You damn right know that once you start to level up your life, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your community, they'll never look at you the same ever again because you leveled up and they haven't. And you, deep down, for some sort of negative beliefs that you have, that you've instilled in yourself because of all this pain and suffering that you've endured and trauma you've endured over the course of your lifetime, you are trying to stick far away from that. In fact, you're auto-rejecting yourself from success because this is what you say to yourself. Oh, well, my boys have been with me since year one and these are my boys for life, bro. I went through them for primary school, reception, kindergarten, secondary school. I went clubbing with them. We shared Hennessy bottles together. We went Spain on Ryanair together, boys trip holiday. And I know what? Even though I could be a better version of myself and I could level up and I could start flying business class, I could start getting the car that I really want, I could start getting the girl that I really want. You know what? I'm going to stay right here because I don't want to lose my friends. And that, my friends, is what's keeping you down every single day. You are auto-rejecting yourself from success because you're scared to lose what you know right now. In the animal kingdom, animals like snakes, they shed their skin and they rehash it. They rebuild their skin from fresh. That's normal. But for us, we want to keep wearing the same old skin our entire lives. We want to keep wearing the same metaphorical clothes our entire lives because we're too scared of change. Because we know that with change, we're going to lose our friends, our family, our communities, and life as we've known it so far. And that is what the hell scares you away from success. You actually auto-reject yourself from success because you know that once you have it, everything's gonna change. You know those friends you've been having? Yeah, you know deep down inside, they're not really that good for you. They smoke weed, they don't improve themselves, they don't read no books, they're not into self-improvement, they're not into psychology, philosophy, improvement, morals, ethics. But you know what? They've been your boys since day. These are the same boys that gave you a glass of juice to drink when you went to their house and you had nothing. These are the same boys that were with you when you were down. And for that reason, you're like, oh my God, I want to stay with these boys my entire life. And I know that if I become a better version of myself, they ain't gonna really like it. So I'm gonna keep myself down. I'm gonna keep myself at this same vibration. So I'm not gonna go as far as I know that I'm capable of going in fear of upsetting my friends. You know, my family, I know deep down inside, they're losers really. They're good for nothings. I got deadbeat dads over there. He ain't looking after his children. He ain't putting clothes on his children. Yeah, that mum there, she's smoking crack while her kids go hungry. You know, my aunt, she's a bit of a whore really. But you know what? They're my family. They're my blood. And I never want to lose them. And that is what the hell is keeping you down every single day. Your need for wanting to hold on to the past is what is stopping you from excelling in your future. Your need for holding on tight to that traumatic roller coaster behind you is what's keeping you down. You're holding on to dear life, to the one boat that's going to sink you into the ocean. And you're doing it on purpose. Because that boat, although that it's rusty, although that it's crusty, although it ain't going nowhere, you're holding on tight to it for dear life. boat is just cruising through the Atlantic Ocean with no real aim, no real destination. It's just slowly creeping on through the Atlantic Ocean. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't been nowhere. It ain't got no aims. Ain't got no ambition. It's just there in the Atlantic Ocean. But guess what? You're holding on to it because that's what you were born into. And although, and this is what's crazy about it, although that while you're on that boat in the Atlantic Ocean, you see all these other nice boats going past you. And on these other nice boats that you see, the guests on those boats are saying, come along, join our boat. Our boat's going to New York. And in New York, we're going to have a great life. You're telling those people, I ain't going on your boat. I don't know you people around there. I'm going to stay on my boat. Now, I might not be going nowhere, but this is my boat. This is where I'm going to stay. You are self-denying yourself from the great person that you could become. You are denying your own potential, and you've got to ask yourself why. Okay, for those of us who accept the trauma that we were born into, and let me tell you, being poor in many circumstances is trauma. Because for many of us, we're poor because of the actions that we've taken. Okay? Many of us gamble too much. In fact, you shouldn't be gambling at all. I don't care how rich you are. Many of us are spending too much money on tail. Many of us are going into debt for things that we don't need. Now, for me personally, I don't like going to debt for business stuff, but at least in those cases, we're trying to turn that into assets. But for those of you who are going to debt for buying new clothes, going on holidays, buying cars, all liabilities, you crazy. Boy, you crazy. So a lot of the times we are poor for stupid reasons that we've done to ourselves. We've had kids too early. We buy stupid things. We do too much drugs. We just do a lot of dumb crap. Our mother and father, they might have been on drugs. They didn't build themselves a good mindset, which would make a good union. All it is arguments all day in their household. So a lot of the times, being poor is one and the same for having trauma in your life. Okay? So we've got to ask ourselves, why the hell are we auto-rejecting success? Why are we stopping ourselves from becoming the person we were born to be? So for those of us who have accepted our past trauma, we want to go to the next level now. And the next level now is asking ourselves why. Because with the why, ladies and gents, we can now start to make change. Okay? And the reason why we auto-reject ourselves from success is because we're scared of the person we're going to become. Ooh, that hits deep. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that the person that we're going to become is going to be a bad person. A lot of the time, the person that we're going to be is actually a good person. But we're even scared of that. We're scared of even having a good life. It's like, I could have a life without drama, without financial pain, without craziness. Oh my God, run! Because we've become so acclimatized to having a crap life that everything other than that is weird to us. We feel more comfortable having a crap life, going from bill to bill, paycheck to paycheck, sob story to sob story. That feels more normal to us than having money in the bank account, access funds, and a stress-free life. That's why a lot of us, when we run into what we think is a lot of money, when we get a little paycheck, a couple £1,000 in there, maybe our parents die, we get 10 grand, 20 grand, we spend it quick. Because to us, the normal is not having a lot of money extra in the bank account just lying there. So once we get that money, we want to spend it within a week because it's like, oh my God, I feel paralyzed here. I know the money's going to go, so I got to spend it quick. Whereas the rich folk there, the successful there, they can have £1 million just sitting in the bank account. It's like, that's normal, just leave it there. Boom, boom, boom. But we find ourselves in situations which are not normal for us, and we want to get out of that ASAP because we want to go back to living a crap life, because that is what was normal for us. What was normal for us was being hungry. What was normal for us was having £10 in the bank account and wondering if that next transaction, when you go to the restaurant, is going to go through. What was normal for us was having at least 2 or 3 bills that were a bit late. That's normal for us. That is what was comfortable for us. But we got to learn to accept that life can be better. We've got to learn to accept that life can become almost stress-free. Have you ever dated a girl and she's from a bad background and she just doesn't like compliments or being treated well? That's because her dad didn't treat her well. Her mum didn't treat her well. Her life was crap. So when she encounters a man who looks after her, pays her bills, treats her like a proper woman, she rejects that guy. Because that is not what is normal to her. She would rather have a guy talking bad about her, talking down on her, cheating on her, not buying her no gifts, not paying for the entire bill when they go on dates, because that was what was normal for her entire life. She feels more comfortable being treated like trash because for her whole life she has been treated like trash. So when that Prince Charming comes through the block, she ain't trying to go nowhere near him because it's like, rah, good treatment, this feels so foreign. Can't accept, can't take good treatment. Dad treated me badly. Dad left me when I was 4. Mum smoked weed throughout the whole house when I was 4. I was inhaling all that crap. She brought in 4 guys every single week. I didn't know their names. I didn't know who was their boyfriend. I didn't know who was my stepfather. I didn't know from Tim, Jock, Cray, or Craig. So she's now more comfortable feeling around a guy that talks bad about her, calls her names, calls her fat, calls her ugly, and ultimately makes her insecure because guess what? Her whole life, up until the point of meeting her, has been feeling insecure. She didn't know where she was going to live. She didn't know who her dad was. She didn't know where she was going to see her dad. Her dad always broke promises. Her dad's got a new family. She didn't know how many stepsisters she's got. She didn't know how many stepbrothers she's got. She didn't know she didn't know what the hell's going on. Her whole life has been this insecurity mode. So that actually makes her feel uncomfortable because whatever becomes normal for us, whether that be good or bad, we become acclimatized to. That's why a lot of these girls perpetually go for the bad boys because their dad treated them the exact same way. Women model their relationships off their fathers. So if you see a woman that has never known her dad, that has never been there for her, never had dad take her out to Toys R Us, buy her some gifts, she's going to choose the exact same type of guy as a life partner. She just won't be able to accept goodness for a man. It's like, men can be good? There's good men out there? Whoa! That's how she be carrying on. Because that is what she has been acclimatized to. Now, this is a totally different story, but those kind of girls, you really can't fix them. Okay? They're going to need some serious therapy there. But even once they finish that, it might be too late for them, because you would have already got married by then. They might be old by that point. And you want to marry someone that's within, good age and can have babies. But it's a sad predicament for those women, because it's not their fault. It's not anyone's fault what family they get born into. That's why I find it so painful to hear these stories about those women, because it's not their fault. They are choosing those bad mans because their fathers modelled themselves as a bad man, as a bum, as a waste cadet. Man didn't pay no bills. Man didn't take his children out to go play dates. Man didn't look after his children. Man didn't buy his children clothes. Man didn't take his children on holidays. Man didn't take his children to have a walk in the blood clot park. So she has no choice really but to choose those bad boys, because that is what she was used to. So unfortunately, those type of girls that get fed to the wolves, the bad boys, and those waste cadet bad boys that have nothing to offer the world but, maybe a little quick bit of sweet talk that ain't even that great. It's not exactly William Shakespeare sweet talk we've got going here, but these broken girls from broken homes, they lap it up because their dad barely could even do that. They ain't heard a good word from their dad since they were born. They never heard "I love you, daughter" from their dad. Blood clot, their dad was never around. Nah, it's sad, man. So it's the same thing for us boys on the topic of success. Why are we sorry, cough's moving wild. Why are we auto-rejecting success? Because we've been acclimatized to it. It's become normal for us, and we feel uncomfortable having a life full of abundance. So we have to train ourselves to have the mindset now of, life actually can be better. Life actually can be great. I can actually have the job which I actually enjoy and still get well paid for it. There's too many people out there that have imposter syndrome. Okay? No matter what room you put them in, even if all those people in that room are at the same level as them, they feel like an absolute imposter. They don't feel worthy to being part of that group. For that reason, these people with imposter syndrome, they overwork themselves and they undercharge their bosses or clients for the great work that they do. And I put my hands up to this because I was that guy. When I first started making my production company, I felt like an imposter. It's like, I've never run a business before. I've never had staff before. Even though I'm working with these multi-billion-pound clients. I remember the first meeting I had with CBRE. I just didn't feel worthy to be there. Please don't tell them that. But I remember I had my first meeting with CBRE. I had a director from there. A lot of people that are working at one of the residential complexes that they were building. I was sitting around about 5 or 6 of them, different directors. And it was like, I don't feel worthy to be here. Like, I just started a company. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in a room in a multi-billion-pound company that's across the globe. They're part of the FTSE 100. I'm sitting there in a meeting and everyone's listening to me as if I'm the Messiah, like hanging on to every single one of my words. I felt like, oh my God, I shouldn't be here. I don't have no degree. I don't have no qualifications. I just started this company with nothing. I didn't even want to do this company. It was a COVID baby. I did it out of necessity. But here I am. I don't feel worthy to be around you guys. You guys all have degrees. You guys have proved yourselves. You guys have climbed up a ladder. But me, I just picked up a camera and somehow I've got myself to be here. But through working with clients like them, through working with clients as big as them, it finally hit me. You know what? If I wasn't worthy, they wouldn't even be dealing with me in the first place. So I learned to accept that, you know what? I am good at what I do. I am valuable. I do have value. I do have worth. People want me in the team. People see the good in me. People see the value in me. It took me all of that. It took me working with multi-billion-pound companies to accept the power deep inside of me. And that's because I wasn't used to being around multi-billion-pound clients and successful people. I wasn't used to that. I didn't see that from my family, from my parents, from my peers. I was the first one diving headfirst into this thing. I had nothing to model my success on. And that's why in the beginning of running my company, I undervalued my worth. I undervalued myself. But now, because of going through this experience, I realized, you know what, I do have worth. And I realized, you know what, I'm not going to hold back anymore. I see the value in me. I see the power in me. I see the greatness inside of me. I'm going to go the hell after all of my dreams without any regrets. I'm going to stop being scared of success because for too long I have been putting roadblocks there, and there just to stop myself from the person I was born to be. Too many of times we put these roadblocks on purpose because we're scared of becoming that guy. We're scared, irrationally scared of how our peers and family are going to look at us once we become successful. That's why if you take a bro from the hood and you offer him the best job he's ever got, and the only condition he has to do is wear a suit and dress formally, have a nice haircut, a lot of the time they just won't do it because they're scared to wear a suit coming back into the hood where they're from. Because they know the man them, when he walks past them through the council estate wearing that suit, that lovely £1,000 suit, oof, man them are going to laugh at him. Now, Mandem ain't going to laugh at him because he's a loser. Mandem are going to laugh at him as a defense mechanism because they know that my man's improving his life and they're not. That's why it's so sad. A lot of the times where we're born really impacts our trajectory. Because a lot of us, even if we do want to become successful, we're scared of making the correct moves because it's going to impact our social standings in the area where we are from. The man them are going to laugh us down. Our parents are going to laugh us down. Why are you wearing that suit, bro? Please, suit. Come on, bro. Put on the tracksuit bottoms. It was the Air Force Ones, brother. The TMs, cuz. Why are you wearing those little posh things, cuz? Those nice, well-heeled, well-polished, well-groomed shoes, bruv. Put on the TMs. Put on a Nike Tex, cuz. Hey, put on that Ralphie hat. The Ralphie beanie. Yeah, you fitting with the man them, cuz. Yo, blood. Why are you wearing those nice coloured socks for, cuz? Those posh things they wear in rich people areas and that. Yo, go put on your Nike trainer socks, cuz. Hey, match that with some Hirachis as well, some Air Force Ones, bruv. All white, cuz. If I ever catch you wearing a suit through here, I'm gonna laugh you down, cuz. You waste cadet. Shut up, blood. You think you're better, bruv? You think you're better than us, blood? Coming through here with a suit and that. Listen, one time I was with one of my friends. He's doing very well for himself. Came from the Caribbean with nothing. Now he owns multiple properties across London, renting them out. He bought the land in a lovely part of West London, more to the suburbs. And he built the house from scratch. He knocked down the previous house, built the new house from scratch, 3 floors, about 7 bedrooms or so. Beautiful house. Anyway, before he moved into this house, he needed to send his mother and some of his family back in the Caribbean some stuff. So what we do in the UK where we want to send our relatives some stuff back home for cheap without paying those crazy expensive DHL costs, what we do is we send them a barrel, okay? So we hire these barrel companies, and these barrel companies take our barrels and put them on a proper, like, what do you call it? A proper cargo ship for us. And then they send it to the Caribbean straight to our door. These people there, they know more about the addresses for Caribbean households, because it's not like the UK or the US. We have zip codes or postal codes and you can really track down the exact door number. In the Caribbean, it ain't like that. So these people also have the knowledge of finding the exact places we want to send them to. So it's not like with these places you go down to the Royal Mail and it's a formal thing. You have to like go to, it's quite dodgy a lot of times. They either come to your house and pick up the barrel, or you go to their house and you give them the barrel and they do a whole long thing with it, right? So anyway, my friend, he has a Mercedes estate car. You know those estate cars that are really low to the ground, very, very long, and some people might call them a granddad's car. Anyway, I call them quite stately and quite impressive because, you know, he ain't some little boy racer no more. Anyway, so we were heading down to this barrel man's house, all Caribbean lot. And as we were parking up and driving up into this driveway, this house, to give our barrels to these people, there are about 5 Caribbean man there. And as we drove in to the driveway, they're like, why you what Mercedes like that for, brother? Come on, bruv. You can't even get no, should have got a C-class coupe or something like that, brother. Should have got a coupe, man. Why you got an estate car, a white people grandpa car, bruv? Yeah, man. You can't get something better than that, man. Hating on us, hating on him. Because this guy, he's outbet the competition. Imagine coming here, he must have been in his 30s, or at maximum, he came in his late 20s, okay? Came here with nothing. He's got more houses that he owns in his names than most people that were born in this country. He's outbeat the majority of the competition, especially as a black man. He's come so far. And even when he's come with his hard-earned money to send a barrel back home to his home country, the youths there, what are you trying to cut that for, brother? Come on, man. Yeah, man. You got an A5 or a M3 Sports Edition or something, man. Something a bit more youthful, brother. So it's hard for us to level out of our communities, because to do the things which would make us successful are a lot of the times frowned upon in the communities where we came from. Going to university isn't cool. Wearing a nice suit jacket, nice, well-fitting pair of trousers is uncool. To wear baggy trousers, cool. To wear nice, slim fit. Let me show you my trousers today, boys. Nice, slim fit trousers. River Island thing. You know how we do it, boys. Nice suits. You know how we do it. That, if I was hanging around a certain demographic of people, they would call me uncool, unpopular. In the rich communities, what I'm wearing, oh my God, they're going to magnetize me right into their community. In the poor communities, what I'm wearing, they want to kick me out, laugh at me, disrespect me, and probably rob me for wearing what I'm wearing. Okay? The things that make us fit in the poor communities expel us from the rich upper class ones. So, in effect, to join the upper class, to become rich, we're going to have to allow ourselves to be hated from our initial unsuccessful community. We're going to have to accept that in attempting to becoming successful, we are going to be auto-rejected, expelled, and thrown out of the communities that we were born from. And that's why we're so scared of success. Because deep down inside, and we all know this, we know that the things that will turn us in to that guy will make the people who don't want to become that guy absolutely hate us. And we're so scared of being hated. Oh, he's my friend, and he's my bro. He's been there with my friends, and I don't want him to hate me. I don't want him to not like me. I want to be part of the bros. I want to have life as it's always been. We're so scared of just leaving our old life behind. And I'm here to tell you guys today, boys, throw your old life in the trash. Throw it away. You know how the garbage man picks up your garbage, he throws it into his truck, and the garbage truck goes, grinds up? That's what you've got to do with your old life. Otherwise, you're going to stay where you are. You're never going to be anything better than what you are today. You're going to stay in the exact place that you've always been. And for what? Just to be liked by the boys who don't want you to see you go any further. We're just so scared of leaving our old life behind. And I get it. It's all that we've ever known. That new life over there with the successful, the rich, the famous, the ambitious, the ladder climbers, that is foreign to us. So sometimes it's better, we say, it's better the devil that we know than the devil that we don't. That is true sometimes, but not of success, baby. We have to get comfortable with going into the unknown, not knowing what the hell is going to happen next. We have to get comfortable being in positions which are foreign to us. We have to get comfortable entering this new realm of reality. A lot of us, we get too comfortable staying exactly where we have always stayed. Well, this is the seat that I was born into. I ain't gonna go to the next seat. I'm gonna stay on this seat. I ain't gonna go to the best seat. I'm gonna stay right here. This has been my seat my entire life. Like, those guys at church, they got that exact seat in that church, and they never, ever want to concede that seat away from anybody. They love that seat. That just tells me the exact kind of person that they are. These people are stagnant. Who the hell cares which seat you're standing on or sitting on? As long as your life is improving, you're gaining more knowledge, and you're becoming a better version of yourself day by day. You've got to get rid of those boys down there. You damn right know they ain't good for you, but you're holding on as if you're on the King the Car roller coaster without a seatbelt and a restraint. Madness. Absolute madness. You're a sinking ship and you're holding on to it, even though there's lifeboats right down there. There's the lifeboat. Catch the lifeboat. You know where the hell to go, but you're holding on because this is the ship that I've always been on. It might be dying, but I'm going to die with my friends and my family. Bun your friends and your family. I have gotten rid of so much of my family, so much of my friends for poor ethics, for low ambition, for being bums, for being whores, for being sluts, for being lazy. I don't care. The moment I realize I'm going to put myself first, I don't care about blood. I don't care about past relations. I don't care about friends being from 20 years. If these people aren't improving their lives, going after their dreams, what the hell am I hanging onto the ship with them for? If they want to hold onto the ship, that's their problem. But me, I'm jumping off. I'm heading to the land of dreams. I'm going to jump. I'm going to roll the dice and I'm going to see the person I can become if I get rid of all the vices hanging on to my shoulders. I want to find out who I can become, who I will be if I go after everything without any inhibitions, without any handicaps, without any stress and problems glooming on to my metaphoric reality from my past life. Too many of man By the time they're on their deathbed, they're sitting there thinking, oh my God, why did I hold on to those friends? Oh my God, why did I hold on to that relationship? Why did I chill with that girl who didn't even love me, who used me, abused me? What? For a bit of... Why? Why? Why did I hold on to those boys that I knew were bad for me? They were smoking weed all the time. They weren't ambitious. They were lazy. They were selling drugs on the street. They were going after bad girls that had trauma. They specifically went after broken girls from broken homes because they were so low in value. That's the only woman that would even entertain them. Because let me tell you, the only women that entertain these pricks and bad boys are women with so low self-respect and so low self-worth that they are willing to settle on garbage. A woman who was from a lovely home with a father that loved her, a mother who was there for her emotionally, she is gonna want the best. She is gonna want to level up to become the best version of her. You know all of the trash in your circle. And you know that if you were to become that successful guy, maybe you're running a business, maybe you're a partner in a law firm, maybe you're director in a large multi-billion-pound company, you know that as a result, you're going to have to get rid of that guy there, that cousin there, that brother there, that father there, because those people, if you're seen to be around them, around those successful people that you're now going to be around, they're going to look at you bad and negatively. These are the same people wearing tracksuit bottoms at 50. These are the same people hanging on devices like, you know, I was born poor, I'm going to die poor. You know, colonialism, the slave trade, you know, because I'm black, I will always be a loser. I will always be poor. My skin color is my glass ceiling. These are the people that haven't gone past that certain level of like, you know what, I am in control of my entire life. These people there, they haven't quite leveled up to the higher level of thinking. And you know this. You think about it. Say you're on the same level as Jeff Bezos now. You're a multi-billionaire, big company. You were chilling with Jeff Bezos, chilling with Bill Gates, chilling with Elon Musk. This is your circle now. What would Elon Musk think of you if you were still hanging out with those bums from your past life there? They'd be like, I'm not too sure about this guy. And you deep down know it. So you know deep down inside, you're going to have to get rid of these people from your past life there because they're just no good for you. No good. You want to be around people that better you, who level you up, who pick you up when you're down. Not from people that are like, you know what, let's stay where we are because we can't go any further. You know, I've tried everything in my life. You know, my life has been crap. We're going to stay. No. You want to stay far away from those people. And a lot of the times, we're scared of becoming the person who we can be because we know that deep down there's a monster. Because it's not always a good thing for a person to have more money, okay? Having more money isn't always a good thing, ladies and gents. Because when you get success and money, it turns you into a grander version of the person you already are. So if you were a lovely, great, sharing, caring type of guy, you're going to become more of a more loving, sharing, understanding type of guy once you reach success and money. But if you're a DH, if you're a jerk, if you're a bum, if you're somewhat lazy, if you're a narcissist, if you're a sociopath, money will only allow you to become more of a bum, a sociopath, a jerk, a control freak. Money and success just exemplifies what you already are. So if you were addicted to coke before you're successful, imagine how much coke you're going to be able to buy once you actually have loads of money. It's only going to make your life worse. And for a long time, successful people like football players, rappers, musicians that got into these cases of like sexual assault and stuff like that, they confused me. Because I was thinking to myself, why the hell would a man at the peak of their career need to commit SA when it's easier for them to get women in the first place? That just confused me. And I really had to sit back and think about what the hell was going on there. Because for the majority of us men, we become successful for 3 reasons. 1, to have the lifestyle that we want. 2, to have the girl of our dreams. And 3, to actually maintain the girl of our dreams in a long-term relationship. Because it's easy, you can be somewhat successful and have the girl of dreams for like a night, have a little one-night stand, have some fun for a few nights, whatever. But to actually maintain her, you're going to have to do well for a long time, okay? You have to keep up the good moves. So I was thinking, if life's already easy to get women when you're that successful, why the hell do you need to commit SA, take girls to your hotel rooms, get them drunk? You ain't got to do all of that when you're successful and got money. A lot of men will never understand this, but it's so much easier to get women when you're successful. You have a good number of Instagram followers. You have a good career going for you. You got status within the alpha male hierarchy. It is infinitely easier to get women that way. You have no idea. Those type of men, they can just walk into a bar. This is who I am. This is what I do for a living. Next thing you know, they got 5 girls on them. And for the men that are really successful, that are football players, big rappers, big musicians, a lot of these men, they have like groupies, like women follow them to their hotel room just to see where they're sleeping. For these men, it's so easy to acquire women. So I was thinking to myself, why the hell do these men need to go to these lengths to do SA and all these grim, dirty things to women? Even though, ironically, they get women's validation way easier than anybody else. Then it hit me. These guys are just perverted in their heads. These guys aren't after women and the love of a woman and the validation of a woman. They're in it for the subjugation of a woman. They're in it for the dominance of a woman. They're in it for the control of a woman. They're in it for the power they can exert over a woman. And that's why for these type of men, even though they ain't got to do all these nasty, grim, vile things to women, they still do it anyway, even though they're successful, even though they run the risk of getting exposed, because that is what they're primarily into. Hence why I'm saying, for a lot of men in particular, gaining success, fame, and money isn't a good thing, because the demon which is sitting inside them is only going to get far worse. That's why you hear cases like P. Diddy and R. Kelly. You think, ugh. These guys could only have gone as far as they did because they were successful. If P. Diddy and R. Kelly wasn't as successful as they were, they couldn't have committed all these vile cases. They would have tried, but it would have been nowhere as possible. And there are so many other men out there that are as dirty-minded, that are just as perverted as P. Diddy and R. Kelly, but they can never get exposed because they haven't got the power to even get the women in the first place. So for these types of men, gaining that success is a good thing. It's actually better for them never to have money or success, because the demon that is inside of them is going to explode in a big way. Because once you have money, you can now afford to be unhinged. Once you have money, you don't have to be nice to people. You see, when you're in a poor neighborhood, the sense of community there is way better than any rich neighborhood. Because they know in the rich neighborhood, like, if I ever run out of tea, if I ever run out of lecky, what they call electric in some poor areas, I could ask a neighbor for a bit of help. They use that social value to ask for favors in the poor communities, right? But once you have money, you ain't got to be relying on no favors from nobody no more. You can just pay your way to get anything done. You can now afford to be insular and isolate yourself from everybody. It's nuts. You don't have to be nice to anything because you don't expect no favors from nobody because you can just pay people off. What you realize is, and this happens naturally once you go from being poor to having something, there's going to be this temptation to not treat people as well as you did when you had nothing. And if you fall for that temptation, the devil will come back and pay for his dues because it's going to lead you to a really dark place. Okay? But for those that hold on to that love that they had, even when they had nothing, they're going to go far. Because there's nothing better than a rich, successful man who still treats people with respect, love, and grace. But for those that don't, that temptation is so easy. You know, what kind of person would you be if you were a multi-billionaire and you had no need for no favors? A lot of you would become rude and cocky and lose your grace. And that's not me saying that. That's what the data shows. Most lottery winners become broke after 5 years. Most sports stars go broke after 5 years of their last pay from their contract. It's so easy to fall to the temptation of the darkness and the evil from the devil once you have money and success. Hence why I'm saying a lot of these guys there, it's better if they never achieve that success. It's just better if they stay away from that money. And that's what happens to guys like P. Diddy and R. Kelly. Money allows you to become unhinged in a way that most poor people will never understand. And that's why I'm saying, you see a lot of these poor people, they act like, oh, I'm so humble, I'm so gracious, I'm so caring, I'm so loving, I care about my friends, my community. That's because you need them. And you intrinsically understand that if you didn't do that, you would lose the little power that you have. But let's see if you still were lovely and caring and friendly to everyone around you, even if you didn't need them anymore. That is the true test. You can't be humble if you have nothing to be humble about. You can only become humble if you're rich, successful, talented, and you still keep that humble frame. If you have nothing to be humble about and you call yourself humble, no, you're just a loser. You have nothing. If you're faithful to your wife, but no other women are checking for you, you're not faithful. It's just that you have no options, bro. So maybe a lot of you would do dirty things like P. Diddy and R. Kelly if you became that successful. And there is a small but large minority of the population of specifically men that have this dirty perversion to do these types of things to women. Once they achieve more success, they already want to do that even though they're broke, but money allows them to become more evil. Money allows them to become more perverted in their dirty ways. That's why you got Sean Diddy Combs, dirty, disgusting. Ugh. He was doing some mad shit that if you're a broke and a successful, you can just never do that. Like mansion part, like you barely got a mansion and no girls are checking for you. So we've really got to look at why we're not checking for our success the way we are. Why we're so scared of becoming the man we were born to be. Why we're throwing away our success even though we know exactly the route, the options and the steps we need to take to get there. We're scared of losing the life we've already known for so long. But it's time, boys, to throw away that life. It's time, boys, to get rid of the trash. You want to allow all the people around you to join your table, but at the end of the day, if they ain't leveling up to be in your table, you got to get rid of them. At the end of the day, if they don't want to be on that ship with you to go to that better destination, you've got to throw them in the blood clot trash. And don't feel no type of way about it, because when you're giving your boys, when you're giving your family like these ways to join you on your success path and they're still trying to be lazy out here, still trying to shame you out here, still trying to make you feel uncool out here, that's when you've got to jump ship. That's when you've got to let me say it out clear. Let me say the word as it is. That's when you've got to abandon them and never see them ever again, because they're dragging you down just the same way. If I put a weight on you, a huge weight on you, and I just threw you into the ocean and you can never swim back to the top of the seafloor, they're dragging you down all the way to the depths of the ocean where you can never come back from. That is immoral. That is unethical. You've got to abandon these boys, throw them in the trash and never look back, because you're great, you're powerful, you know where you want to go, you know who you want to be, you know the things that you want to achieve, you know the kind of dad or mother you want to be and model yourselves to your kids when you get them. You know how much potential is within you. And you now are sick and tired of holding back for people who don't really care about you, for people that are just dragging you down, for people that don't want to see you win. You're sick and tired of letting your life remain on hold, remain on pause for these losers down there. It's time to jump ship and abandon these youths. Feel no shame. Feel no vergüenza at looking back and saying, you know what, I'm unashamed of letting these guys go, because look at me now, I am so much better for it. And you might have abandoned 20 people, but by being the person you were born to be, you're now going to help directly and indirectly hundreds, if not thousands, or if not millions of people through being that great guy, through being that guy, for being that person you know you're going to be if you get rid of all that trash behind you. It's time to look towards the stars, go after what you want, go after your dreams without no fear, without no inhibitions, without no weight on your shoulders from artificial sources trying to keep you at the bottom of the ocean. You need to feel sick about it. You need to feel sick and tired of staying where you are in order to gain this type of motivation. I want you right now to feel that pain. I want you to dwell on your misery for this moment, because with that misery, you're going to have the motivation to finally wake the hell up and start moving in the direction that you were born to move to. You weren't born to be living in this mindset of there's only a little bit, you can't go this far, in this scarcity mindset, as if the world isn't abundant. You, my friend, you were born to live in a world full of abundance. There's this big thing about buying one house in UK, which is so difficult. But you want to get yourself to a position where it's like, I want a house in the UK, I want a summer home in Spain, I want a little side home there in Dubai for a little 1 month travel sometimes. I want a home in Africa, like those nice parts in Africa. I want a home in New York, a home in Singapore. Things go mad, like maybe I can move my business to Singapore. I have a house bought there already. I want to have a house in San Francisco. You want to have that type of mindset. You want to have the lifestyle where you can pick what car you're going to drive today, the same way you can pick what t-shirt or what pair of trainers you're going to put on your feet. You want to get yourself into abundance mindset. And it's only when you can accept, firstly, the trauma that you've endured your whole childhood, and then turning that knowledge into the why, into the how, and then finally into the change, where you can make a real difference into your lives, where you can stop feeling like the imposter wherever you go, where you can start having the self-belief in all the greatness which is flowing through your veins and flowing through your blood. It's there, it's powerful, it's moving, but you're just not letting it out. And I want you, for the first time in your life, to let it out. I know that your friends are going to laugh at you. I know that your family's going to laugh at you. They're going to say things like, are you being a bit ambitious here, Luke? Oh, Luke, you're being a bit over the top here. Maybe you should kind of lower your dreams a little bit. Look, I've tried that, I've done this, I've had people say, this ain't going to work. I've done that before. I've tried it before. Just give up in your dreams. I've had that to my face. from these loser people with their loser mindsets. But you, my friend, you've got to see past that. Ignore the haters where you've come from, and you need to just storm on with your goals, with your mission, no matter what. Whether the rain is falling, whether there's a thunderstorm, whether you're getting hate from all these devilish forces surrounding your soul, you've got to march on triumphantly. And only then, once you accept your role, once you go in to the dragon's den without any pre-knowledge, going in blind, without any training, without any fear, only then, when you step into the unknown and march on anyway, that is when you'll become successful. This is the Hezron Springer Show. Alágate, chamacos. I will see you in the next episode. My guys, mis hombres. Adiós por ahora. En el próximo episodio hablaremos